All right, everyone. I'm Erik with Eye on the Tigers. With us today is number 83, Mr. Travin Dural. Travin, thanks for being with us today, man.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So, man, take us back to Beaux Bridge High. What was your recruitment process like?
So honestly, mine kind of got shut down a bit early, once I committed, but it was okay. When I first started playing football in high school, I didn't really think I was much of a player. So I hadn't done anything recruiting wise. I was in ROTC because I was expecting to go to college. That was the only way I was going to go to college. And then my sophomore year comes around and everybody sees I'm a little better than they originally thought. Took a couple of trips. I think I went to UL. That was pretty much it. Maybe UL and Southeastern. But after that, it was one random game, and LSU was playing Alabama, and we're warming up on a Friday, and everybody's like, "Hey, I think you need to go in the coach's office." So I'm like, "Okay, why?" We got a game in a second. Nick Saban was in the coach's office, right? And I'm like, "Wait, how did we get here?" And then from then on, it kind of picked up. I went to Alabama a couple of times. I got my first offer from them, and then everybody else kind of fell in line. And then LSU came around real hard, which I was pretty much waiting on. One of my buddies, Lamar Lewis, he had already gotten his offer, so I was just kind of waiting. Went up there a couple of times, went to the camp, and then after that, it just kind of took off. Once they offered me, I committed right away. So pretty much shut down all of my recruiting. But at the beginning, it was a little exciting when Nick Saban popped up at my high school and came to talk to me on a Friday night. So that's when I kind of figured, like, okay, I might be okay, and it went from there.
That's cool, man. That's awesome. So yeah, I didn't realize that you got a little bit of a later start, in your football career. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what was it like being part of such a loaded 2012 recruiting class? Because you had yourself, like you said, Lamar Lewis, Quan Alexander, Vidal Alexander, Dwayne Thomas, Jalen Mill. And I know I'm leaving some guys out, but you guys had some dudes in that class.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, honestly. I didn't get to play my freshman year. I got hurt in fall camp, but watching the guys I came in with play their freshman year gave me something that I wanted to work so hard to be able to get on the field. I was at home watching the games. I couldn't travel with the team because my knee was messed up. And they didn't forget about me. So that really made me feel like that recruiting class was a family for me. I used to live with Dwayne Thomas and Quan Alexander, so those guys used to keep me motivated, even though I was injured. And once I got my chance, it was amazing. My recruiting class is amazing. I still talk to those guys till this day. I actually was talking to Dwayne Thomas a couple of days ago. He's back in New Orleans and training. He was coaching in college, so I keep up with those guys. We still talk. It was good. It was good. I was glad to be a part of that recruiting class. I'm glad to see some of those guys are still playing. So it makes me, excited. It gives me chills seeing those guys still playing and get to tell some of my players that, hey, this was my roommate. This is the guy I was training with. This is who I used to wake up at 4 a.m. to go to workouts with. So it was fun.
That's cool, man. That's Dwayne was somebody that was fun to watch, man. He wasn't scared to put his head in there and do a little bit of dirty work.
Definitely. Dwayne was definitely a really good player, man. I once he figured out that he was that nickel position, that's when he really took off. So I was happy to see his career go the way it did.
Mm-hmm. That's good, man. So you briefly touched on our next topic. So early on in your LSU career, you suffer a knee injury. You have to sit out your true freshman year. What was that recovery like, and how did you stay positive through that journey?
It was hard. It was actually very, very hard. They had me talk to like a psychiatrist. I used to go maybe once a month. That was my first injury. It was my first injury ever. It was the only time I ever had to sit out of a season. So, I didn't necessarily know how to handle that. I don't think I was depressed, but I might have been depressed, So that definitely helped me, being able to talk to that person once a month and being able to go home. I was so close to home, 35, 40 minutes, being able to be around my family. That definitely helped me out a lot. If I was somewhere further, I think I might have left school. But being that I was able to go home and see my mom, see my grandma, see my friends, that really helped me, and they kept me positive. They were like, man, I can't wait to see you next year. So that kind of kept me motivated because I had a lot of people that was so close waiting on me to be able to play. So that definitely helped. I don't think I would have made it if I was somewhere further and I couldn't go home and couldn't be around so much love and support.
Got you, man. That's pretty cool being, so close to home, like you said.
Definitely.
All right. So your redshirt freshman year, you have a pretty good season, fourth in the team in catches. But man, that sophomore year, you get career highs in receptions, receiving yards, receiving touchdowns. What was that sophomore season like?
It was great. It was amazing. I knew I was a good player, but once my sophomore season happened, it gave me the confidence that I really was looking for myself. Like, I always knew I was good, but I just didn't know how good I could have been. And that sophomore year, after that Wisconsin game, and then we went home for the Sam Houston game, it was we were rolling, and I was excited. I was very happy with all the work I put in. So it was finally starting to show. I finally gained some weight, and everybody knew I was fast, but they didn't know, if I can do anything else. So I was happy to be able to show people that I can make plays. So that was my sophomore year was a fun year. It definitely was a fun year.
Yeah, that Sam Houston game, you went off that game, man.
Yeah, that was a good game. Yeah, that was a good game. 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. That was a good game. I really enjoyed that game. Really enjoyed that game.
So during your time at LSU, you guys go through a head coaching change in the middle of a season. Mm-hmm. What was that like going through, that process as a player?
It was tough, but mm-hmm. Coach O made it very easy for everyone. Everyone was already, like, I don't want to say cool with him, but being that we went against the defense so much, we would always interact. So it's not like they brought in a stranger and we had to learn someone else. We kind of already knew what to expect from him because what he did with the entire team is what he always would do with the D-line. So it was definitely different. It took him maybe a couple weeks to kind of get what he wanted. But once we figured out, okay, he wants to do good on good at practice. Once we understood that, everything was good. We were fine. We understood why he wanted to do what he wanted to do, and we just kept rolling. As I don't want to say professionals, but as someone who's been playing football for a long time, football is about a game. It's a game of adjustments, and that's pretty much all it was. We just had to make the adjustment to go from Coach Miles to Coach O.
Gotcha, man. That's pretty cool, man. Coach O was it seemed like he kind of did make it, easy on you guys, and then like you said, having a familiar voice, right. I'm sure that helped out a lot.
No, it definitely did. It did for sure. And he didn't come in and try to just change everything immediately. He came in and we were kind of still doing the same things, and he just implemented some of the things that he wanted to do, which I'm sure the next year they were full go with the way his practice style was. But I enjoyed it. It made us better as players because we would go ones-on-ones every day. When we were with Coach Miles, we'd do a lot against the scout team, and then we would come together as a team and go ones-on-ones. But Coach O's whole thing was good on good. We're gonna have our best players practice against our best players every day, and that definitely made a big impact on us. And as you can see, that 2019 season, they were better than everybody because they were going good on good every day. So, I enjoyed Coach O for the little bit of time that I got to work with him.
Gotcha, man. So your time's up at LSU. Take us through your pro career, man. Being from Beaux Bridge, you get to play for the Tigers. Saints come calling. What was that like?
It was great. People ask all the time, like, hey, do you feel like your career could have been longer? And this, I'm like, man, listen, I lived every boy's, dream. You know, I played for LSU. I played for the Saints. You know, I can't ask for much more than that. You know, I was there for a couple of years. I got to be around Drew Brees. I got to be around Michael Thomas. I got to be around Alvin Kamara. You know, I got to be against those guys. You know, sadly, you know, I broke my arm, so that kind of messed me up. But I was in the rotation. I was getting practice times. I was going with the one. So I know I could have played and contributed to the team, but you know, things happen, injuries happen. So I tell people all the time, it's not that I didn't know I couldn't play with them. I know I could. It's just I had an injury, and injuries happen, and it's some things you just got to live with. But I'm satisfied with my career, and I'm very happy that I got to be a Tiger and a Saint. You know, that was amazing. You know, whether it was for 2 minutes, 2 years, you know, that's something that I really enjoyed, being able to put on the black and gold, being able to represent the home state at every level.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. You know, growing up anywhere in Louisiana, but certainly in the southern part like us, you know, getting to play for those two teams, that's like you said, man, that's a dream come true. That's awesome.
That's a dream. It was a dream come true. I have a couple of jerseys here and like my Saints helmet, and I look at them like I can't believe I got to play for LSU, be a starter, 3-year starter at LSU, then get a chance to play for the Saints. That was amazing. You know, I can't ask for anything else. You know, of course, we all want a long career in Super Bowl, but for me, being able to do that for my home state, I can't ask for much more.
Got you, man. So it kind of leads us into our next question. You know, you play your whole career basically in Louisiana, mm-hmm. and then the CFL comes calling. What was that like playing in the CFL, and what was that whole adjustment like?
So I actually didn't get a chance to go. When COVID hit, the border shut down, and we couldn't cross. So the entire season got postponed, and it kept getting pushed back. It kept getting pushed back, and that's when I kind of came to the realization, like, you know what, this might be my sign to hang up the cleats and get something else going. You know, I was gonna go. If people wanted to see if I was good from my arm, you know, they wanted to make sure my arm was fine. So when I talked to my agent, he was like, everybody just wants to make sure you're back healthy. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You know, I'll go and I'll play, and whatever happens, happens. And it just so happened that COVID hit that March, the border shut down, and I couldn't cross. So I was actually looking forward to it, but you know, things happen for a reason, and I didn't get a chance to. They actually won the Grey Cup that year. I think that's what it's called. The team that I was signed to. They actually won the championship. So I was a bit sad about that, but all in all, I was like, you know what? I think this might be my sign to hang the cleats up and go ahead and start my coaching career.
Got you, man. I got you. So you kind of briefly touched on it earlier, but do you still keep in touch with any of your LSU teammates?
Yes, I do. So KB, Cajun Boone, he actually is a coach in the DFW area. John DRs, he's also a coach in the DFW area. I talk to those guys when I'm back home. You know, some of the guys that's from the area, I see them. We'll talk. Dylan Gordon, his kids are my god kids, so I talk to him pretty often. I talk to Quan here and there. You know, that's the guys I lived with. I pretty much talk to them regularly, you know. And when I see the other guys out somewhere, you know, we always speak and catch up. I saw a lot of guys at the LSU game. I go back to one LSU game a year, so I see a lot of guys there. Nick Brissett, he works for LSU, so I talk to him all the time because that's who's in charge of alumni relations. But every time I see those guys, we always catch up. We have a good time, whether it's, you know, at LSU or somewhere random. A lot of people come to Dallas, so I'll see people here. I'll run into a couple guys here. So every chance I get to talk to those guys, we catch up.
Got you, man. That's really cool. Dylan Gordon, he came in with that 2012 class as well, right?
Yes, he did. Yep, he did. Yep. Dylan came in as a tight end and went to the NFL as a left tackle or a guard. So he was a humongous human being. One of the best athletes I've ever seen. Somebody being that big, being able to move the way he did. But yes, Dylan was a part of that 2012 class as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had a couple of my friends. They moved from down here up to John Curtis, so I kind of had a few mutual friends with Dylan. That's what they said. He was just an athlete, you know.
Yes, definitely an athlete. Played baseball, basketball, football. He's definitely an athlete for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So going back to your high school career, somebody, you know, not only started on the football field, but state champion in the 200 and the 4x2. So, including yourself, if you had to make a all-time LSU 4x2 relay team, who would be on that team with you, and what leg would they run?
All time. Oh man, there was some fast guys. Of course, I mean, I know he didn't stay at LSU his entire career, but Gerald Brazil would definitely have to be on that relay team. Trendon Holiday. I don't know if he ran the 200, but he was extremely fast in the 100. So those two guys for sure. There was a Xavier Carter. He's also a track guy. I think he ran the 400. So him and the 200 would be crazy, right? And also Benny Brazil. Those four, right? As far as the order, I would probably start off with Gerald, right? Gerald would lead off. Benny, I would take him second. Xavier Carter, I would leave him last. And who was the fourth person I said?
Trendon Holiday.
Trendon Holiday, yep. And I would end it with Trendon. I would switch Trendon and I would put Xavier Carter third. So Gerald to Benny to Xavier Carter to Trendon Holiday. That would be an extremely fast 4x2 team.
Yeah, yeah, man, that still would be. Oh yeah,
very, very fast. That would be a very fast 4x2. There's a couple honorable mentions. You know, Dante Jackson was extremely fast as well. DJ Chark was super fast. So it's hard. It's hard. But those four guys, you know, especially since two of them ran track in college. Well, Gerald did actually run track as well. Well, all four of those guys actually ran track. The three ran for LSU, and when Gerald transferred to UL, he ran track for them. So that would be really good. That would be a really good 4x2 team.
Got you, man. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. That's a good one, man. So, Travin, thank you so much for taking time out your day. I know you're coaching now. I know you're staying busy, so we sure appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.